The Twins and Yankees were the teams of 2019. Neither won the pennant, yet they best characterized what baseball looked like that year. In a year dominated by the long ball, the Twins and Yankees produced extreme results, topping the all-time leaderboards for ISO, isolated power. They spent the entire year in a Maguire-Sosa-esque chase for the most home runs by a team in a season. It was the Twins who grabbed the record first, with Mitch Garver hitting number 268 against the Tigers in late August. But the Yankees chased them down. The Twins actually trailed by 2 home runs going into the final game of the season. Lance Lynn shut down the Bronx Bombers, while Minnesota thrice took Jorge Lopez deep to finish on top. Looking at the Yankees' projected roster that season, it wasn't hard to imagine them breaking all sorts of records. But Judge, Severino, and Stanton, a trio that was expected to lead the team, each suffered injuries. Judge played in just 102 games, while Stanton and Severino essentially had lost seasons. The Yankees relied heavily on a misfit cast of players to fill in, and they didn't miss a beat. On the Twins side, lineup depth was key. They had 8 players hit at least 20 home runs, an MLB record. It was powered by a huge shift in offensive philosophy, as they led the league in pulled fly balls by a strong margin. Both teams won over 100 games and cruised to win their respective divisions. The two met in October, with the Yankees coming out on top before falling to Houston in the ALCS. Still, both teams had a lot to be proud of, and one of those sources of pride has to be what transpired at Target Field on July 23rd that year. It's the Yankees' Didi Gregorius who delivers the initial blow, hitting a long double to put the Yankees up by 2 in the first. They should call him Double Play Gregorius because he specializes in twin killing, with the most famous incident being a 3-run homer in the 2017 wildcard game. In 32 career games against Minnesota, he has hit .345 with 36 runs batted in. New York starts the day with Domingo Germán on the mound. Germán was one of many surprises for the 2019 Yankees, and he comes into this game with a .338 ERA and a 13-3 record. But having put 2 runners on in the second inning, he's facing a pest control problem. That pest is Luis Arraez. Unlike his teammates, Arraez is not a home run hitter, but he is an extreme hitter. He rocked the league's highest contact rate and line drive rate in 2019. He's aggressive, but not undisciplined, as he walked more than he struck out. A single up the middle puts the Twins on the board. If Germán demonstrated any weakness in 2019, it was the long ball. His ratios in walks, strikeouts, and hits were good, but home runs, not so much. The Twins start the bottom of the third with back-to-back jacks, first from Jorge Polanco and next from Nelson Cruz. It was just another instance of Cruz fighting off Father Time, as he became just the 4th player to slug 600 in an age 38 season or older. Look at that company. In terms of win probability, those 2 homers put the Twins back in the driver's seat. We'll be monitoring this graph as the game goes along. Things get worse in the 4th for Germán. Double, wild pitch, single, hit by pitch, sacrifice. Miguel Sano comes to the plate in a 5-2 ball game with a chance to bust it right open. So he does.
That is drilled. Long gone. 3-run shot. Miguel Sano. And just like
that ends Germán's day. On the other side, Kyle Gibson isn't doing too hot either. He has a chance to get out of the 5th with limited damage. The only person in his way, the twin killer himself. Oof. Still, he finishes out the inning and exits in line for the win. His chances are further helped by a Jorge Polanco double that stretches the Twins' lead to 4. The next Twins pitcher is Cody Stashak, who is making his big league debut. It's a memorable one. He strikes out 3 Yankees in 2 innings, forcing more swings and misses in 30 pitches than Domingo Germán managed in 82. Tommy Kahnle pitches a clean bottom of the 7th, and with that, this brief era of good pitching comes to an end. We're getting to the late stages of this game. There's been a lot of scoring, but now it's about to get nuts. Blake Parker comes in for the Twins. He's having a weird season, having thrown 36 innings with a .325 ERA. That's good, but he also has a .533 FIP, fielding independent pitching. That's bad. He's about to experience a relief pitcher's greatest enemy, regression to the mean. With Gleyber Torres on first, Gio Urshela is the man in the batter's box, and he's having himself a year. The Yankees acquired him from the Blue Jays in 2018 for cash considerations. An injury to Miguel Andujar opened up a chance for Urshela to contribute, and he took it. Coming into this game, he's hitting .300 and slugging nearly .500 for New York, and his great play continues with a double off Parker. Up next is another Yankee misfit turned star in Mike Tauchman. He never established himself with the Rockies, but the Yankees sought out his services. He was thrust into the lineup after some key injuries to Yankee outfielders, including Giancarlo Stanton. Tauchman drives in Torres with a double of his own. It's another surprise success story for this year's squad. At the end of the season, Tauchman and Urshela, two role players practically given away by their former teams, will finish as the 4th and 5th most valuable players on the New York Yankees. Absolutely preposterous. A 2-run Aaron Judge double brings the Yankees within 1, and also sends Blake Parker packing. Literally. He was DFA'd the next day, and finished the season as one of many replacement Phillies bullpen arms. With 2 outs in the inning, Ryan Harper is facing, oh dear lord, not again.
2. Lifted in the air to right center and deep. Kepler back, at the wall, leaping, and he dropped it. 2 runs will score!
With that 2-run double, the Yankees are once again in control of the win probability. They total 5 runs in the 8th and get the lead back. Zach Britton seems like the perfect Yankee solution to this powerful Twins lineup. Britton's greatest strength is his home run suppression, allowing fewer long balls per 9 innings than any pitcher over the previous 5 seasons. He keeps the ball down with his signature sinker ball, a pitch that has allowed him to generate a ludicrous 76.9% ground ball rate. Why am I telling you all this? So you can be just as shocked as every hardcore baseball fan when Miguel Sano does this.
Hit in the air to left center a mile. Minnesota's back in front. Miguel Sano puts one into orbit.
A majestic 2-run blast. Our WPA graph is flipped on its head once again, with the Twins now likely to win this game going into the 9th. And what a 9th inning it was. In a game as close as this one, the Twins have been forced to adjust their pitching strategy. They happily brought in Stashak to pitch some low-leverage innings with a solid lead, but they can't pull any punches in a 1-run ball game. Taylor Rogers it is. After a couple deep fly balls from Gleyber Torres and Gio Urshela, the Twins are just 1 out away from ending this intense game. It's Taylor Rogers versus Mike Tauchman. After strike 1, Target Field is on its feet. The crowd roars as Rogers gets strike 2 on a lovely frame job from Jason Castro. Coming into this duel, win probability already gave the Twins a 96% chance of winning the game. Now, the odds are even higher because Rogers is in a favorable position. Talkman takes ball 2, then ball 3, and on full count, he takes his base. That brings up Aaron Hicks. Hicks was once teammates with his opponent. After years of struggling as a Twin, he turned a corner with the Yankees and established himself as one of the American League's top center fielders, at least when healthy. Yet Hicks is in a tough position here. The Talkman walk only slightly nudged the Yankees' win probability, but as any reliever can attest, it only takes 1 mistake.
Hits this one deep in the air to left field. That ball is gone! Aaron Hicks!
A seismic shift. The Yankees move from an 8% chance of winning to 79% with 1 swing of the bat. It's one of the greatest WPA hits of the entire season. The Yankees now lead this game 12-11. Judge tacks on a double, but Edwin Encarnacion strikes out before New York can add any insurance runs. With the Yankees now suddenly in position to close this one out, the ball is handed to Aroldis Chapman, the Cuban Missile. Throughout his career, he has been the definition of unhittable, rocking the highest strikeouts per 9 and second lowest hits per 9 of any post-integration pitcher with at least 500 innings pitched. Since the PitchFX era began in 2008, Aroldis Chapman's left arm is responsible for the 36 hardest thrown pitches the league has seen. In 2019, he averaged 98 miles per hour on his fastball, but in this appearance, he's a couple ticks behind. That's scary. But there's an even more obvious warning sign. He can't find the strike zone. 12 of his first 17 pitches are taken for balls. When Max Kepler walks to load the bases, the Twins are suddenly in a great spot to walk it off. Chapman occasionally has games like this. Against Oakland in 2018, he also walked the first 3 hitters he faced, but he got out of it unscathed. Jorge Polanco lines out. It's deep enough to score the tying run. The game-winning run remains on second. Nelson Cruz lines out to center. And with 2 outs, Eddie Rosario can't quite punch this ball over the infield. We're going to extra innings. That trio of batted balls from Polanco, Cruz, and Rosario would have walked it off had any of them dropped for hits. Individually, they weren't struck particularly well, but according to expected batting average, they collectively had a 68% chance of walking it off. Unlucky. It's an inning of regret. The Twins were one strike away and couldn't get it done. The Yankees could have gotten an extra insurance run. The Twins should have further capitalized on Chapman's mistakes. The Yankees regret letting this game get into extras in the first place. Yet, on we go. Cole Stewart takes the mound for Minnesota. He's more of a pitch-to-contact guy, and he gets his first out on a deflected ground ball from DJ LeMahieu. Stewart then leaves his sinker ball too high in the zone for Didi Gregorius, who capitalizes with, his 9th hit of the game? Austin Romine follows it up with a little chip shot single of his own, and suddenly, the go-ahead run is in scoring position. Stewart is floundering. He finds himself in a 3-0 count against Gleyber Torres. For many batters, what comes next is automatically a pitch you should take. Make the pitcher throw a strike. But Gleyber Torres likes to swing on a 3-0 count. He's one of just 9 hitters that batted 5 balls on a 3-0 count in 2019. It's risky, as you can forfeit a highly advantageous situation, but sometimes you're in a spot where a knock is far more valuable than a walk, and this is one of those times.
Swinging and lining a base hit into right center field. Gregorius rounding third. He will score.
Another huge WPA shift as the Yankees lead 13-12. After a wild pitch to Tauchman, Romine scores from third. Mike T eventually grounds out to end the inning, but the damage has been done. The Twins trail by 2. Adam Ottavino is next out of the Yankees Super Bullpen. He famously spent one offseason on a DIY pitcher's mound in Harlem cooking up something diabolical. You basically have to play a guessing game with him. He throws a sinker with a 2-seam grip that does this, and a cutter that does the exact opposite. Those two pitchers are so complementary, and I haven't even talked about his slider. He once got Dansby Swanson to swing at a pitch that was closer to the on-deck circle than the plate. 3 different pitches, 3 different speeds, 3 totally different types of movement, one Adam Odovino. He begins the inning by striking out Miguel Sano. But like Chapman before him, locating the nasty stuff becomes an issue for Ottavino. He walks Marwin Gonzalez on 5 pitches, and then Luis Arraez comes to the plate. He's as pesky as it gets. Arraez craves contact, but he knows when to be patient. He fouls off a pitch on full count, then ultimately walks. Ottavino sets up the double play ball with the perfect low 2-seamer. And game of inches. Each team has had so many chances to close this one out. Yet, we continue. Mitch Garver steps into the batter's box, and this is not the guy you want to deal with. Garver entered this game homering in over 10% of at-bats, and already took CC Sabathia and Luis Cessa deep in the previous game. This ends up being an unintentional, intentional walk. Ottavino simply doesn't offer up a pitch to hit. His day is over, but the game has reached its climax. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Chad Green takes the mound, and I don't envy him. With Dellin Betances injured, the Yankees have used all 5 of their notable relievers in one game. It really is playoff baseball in July. One interesting stat for relief pitchers is leverage index. It basically tells you how much pressure any given plate appearance is under. The average is 1, with anything higher representing higher leverage spots. The top 5 high leverage guys generally sit around 2 and 2.5 on average over the course of a season. Right now, Chad Green is going in to face one batter. The leverage index is over 7. The man applying that pressure is Max Kepler, who takes ball 1. Then Green earns a called strike. Kepler responds by earning ball 2. He's doing a great job of seeing Green's stuff. A double in the gap is just what he needs to walk it off in dramatic fashion. Max Kepler has just hit a baseball very hard, 103 miles per hour to be exact. In this moment, he too becomes a spectator. The only thing he can do now is watch. Every ball, strike, twist and turn, subverted expectation, quirky baseball set, and awkward tangent has led to this. There's nothing more I can tell you, so just enjoy.
The 2-1. Kepler lines that in the air to left center. Hicks on the run, dives, and he made the catch! He made the play! Oh my goodness, what a catch!
Yep, that's some good baseball right there. Except for the part when the Yankees won. I personally don't care for that, but good baseball nonetheless. Hey new patrons, thank you so much for your support. To see your name here, you can go to patreon.com/foolishbaseball. Take care.